My beloved child, there are moments in life that shake your heart to its very core, as if a sudden storm sweeps in and carries away everything familiar. Especially when such change touches your family, those you love dearly, it can feel as though a part of yourself has been torn away. I know you often ask, why must there be separation? Why must there be division, even within the home that was meant to be the safest place of all? These questions echo not only in dark days, but also creep into quiet hours when you suddenly sense that something is shifting beyond your control. And it is precisely in that emptiness that I raise my voice, not to inflict more pain, but to open for you a new chapter. What you perceive as loss is, in truth, my preparation for the journey ahead. Imagine, my beloved, that I am the gardener tending the vine. Each season I take the pruning shears and cut away branches that have withered or grown in the wrong direction. To you this act may seem harsh. Why cut off green shoots that are still reaching upward? Yet I know that without pruning the vine will never bear sweet fruit. Cutting is not meant to wound, but to preserve life and direct nourishment toward what remains. So it is with your life, my child. At times I separate certain bonds, not because you have failed, nor because I have withdrawn my hand, but because I am preparing you for a harvest far more abundant. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in them will bear much fruit. John 1:5-5. Hear this truth. Fruitfulness comes only through pruning. Remember the grain of wheat. When it lies secure within its husk, it seems safe intact. But to become a golden stalk of wheat, the seed must fall into the ground, must decay, must be stripped of its familiar shell of protection. That process is painful yet necessary. Without breaking open, there can be no growth. Without separation, there can be no abundance. This is the law I set from the beginning, and it mirrors your own life. To step into greater things, you must release what is familiar. I know what is hardest for you is that you only see the present, while I behold the whole. When a relationship fractures, when an attachment is severed, you see an ending. You see only loss. But in my vision, it is the first step of a new work. If you could glimpse what I am arranging, you would not be so afraid. But since you see only a fragment, you rush to conclude that I have abandoned you. The truth is the opposite, precisely because I love you too much. I refuse to let you remain stuck where the flame I placed within you would slowly fade. My child, I know how difficult it is to accept, especially when that bond is of blood, of kinship. Family ties are sacred, a refuge in stormy years. Yet not every tie leads you closer to your calling. Sometimes even love can unintentionally become a chain that slows you, that prevents you from completing the path I have set. Remember Abraham, the father of faith. I called him to leave his homeland, to leave his clan and go to the land I promised. It was not the rejection of family, but the necessary separation for him to step into destiny. Had Abraham remained, he would never have become the father of many nations. You must learn to see separation not as a wound that scars, but as a marker that opens new space. For every great change comes with a parting. The cocoon must tear for the butterfly to take flight. The child must leave the mother's womb to enter life. Your spiritual journey is the same. There are people and things meant only for a season, and then they must pass, making room for what is next. And it is within that emptiness that you find the chance to receive what I have already prepared. My beloved child, perhaps right now your heart feels heavy. You may have just gone through a breakup, a fracture within your family, or a distance you never desired. And you think that your life is spiraling downward, that everything is falling apart. But I speak to you. Stop and listen carefully. Sometimes what you call collapse is actually the foundation being rebuilt. Sometimes what you see as loss is the very transition that ushers you into a more glorious season. It is not because you are unworthy of love, but because my love is too great to let you remain at the same level. One of the greatest paradoxes of spiritual life is this: today's pain can be the seed of tomorrow's joy. What causes you to weep now may one day be the very thing for which you give thanks. Like a tree being pruned, like a seed being split, like a child whose umbilical cord must be cut to live independently, All are painful, yet all are necessary. Instead of seeing separation as a period, see it as a semicolon. Your story has not ended. It is simply turning the page to a new chapter. And that new chapter, if you walk with me, will be filled with life, hope, and lasting fruit. I know well what stirs within you when separation suddenly strikes. Your heart trembles, your hands shake, and questions pour out like a rushing flood. You feel hollow, as though the ground beneath you has vanished. You try to cling to what is familiar, hoping that things might return to the way they were. Then doubt creeps in. Did I do something wrong? Was I not good enough to hold this relationship together? And sometimes that doubt even extends toward me. Where is God in this? If He truly loves me, why did He allow this to happen? I hear those whispers in your heart. My child, I do not rebuke you for such questions. I know that pain twists you and darkness clouds your vision. But I want you to stop and see the truth. The separation you are experiencing is not a punishment, not a sign that I have abandoned you. It is the beginning of deliverance. You think you have been robbed of something precious, but in reality I am removing invisible chains that have bound your soul so that you may walk freely on the path I have designed for you. Look back at Israel when they left Egypt. To them it seemed like total loss. They left behind familiar homes, pots of meat, bread to their fill, and everything they had known. They stepped into a barren wilderness, facing uncertainty and fear. Many times they cried out, "If only we had stayed in Egypt. If only we had died under Pharaoh's hand rather than perish in this desert." They saw their departure as a disaster, but in my eyes, it was the beginning of liberation. I did not bring them out to destroy them. I brought them out to give them the promised land where they would no longer be slaves, but a people set apart, free, and called by my name. Do you see, my child, what my people called loss, I called preparation? What they called departure, I called turning the page. So it is with you. When I allow separation, it is not to leave you wandering aimlessly in a desert, but to draw you out of confinement. What you call safety may in fact be chains that shrink your soul, blur your vision, and smother the fire within you. And I have come to break those chains so you may be free. I know that at first you resist because your heart is accustomed to leaning on the old, your hands to clinging to what is familiar. But remember, freedom always begins with departure. Just as a bird must break its shell to fly, just as a child must leave its mother's arms to take its first steps, so you must step out of what has held you too long. I do not abandon you in the wilderness. I go before you with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. I rain manna from heaven and cause water to gush forth from the rock. You think you are losing, but in truth you are gaining. You think you are forsaken, but in truth you are being led. Therefore, my child, do not let the voices of fear blind you. Do not let doubt turn you back. I am not punishing you. I am liberating you. And just as Israel did not remain in the wilderness forever, neither will you remain in this emptiness. This is only a passage, a transition. This is the road that leads to your own promised land. A land I have prepared for you, a land full of life, peace, and abundance. My beloved child, I want you to engrave in your heart an unchanging truth. Not everyone can walk with you until the very end of your journey. Some people are placed beside you only for a season, like companions for a short stretch of the road. When that portion comes to an end, they must leave, and you must keep moving forward. If you try to hold on to everyone, you will exhaust yourself because you are carrying weights that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. You cannot run at the pace I have set for you while clinging to every tie of the past. Imagine a pilgrim ascending a high mountain. At first, he packs many belongings, clothes, food, tools, things that seem necessary, but the higher he climbs, the steeper the path becomes, and the wind grows stronger. Eventually, he must release some of the heavy loads in order to continue his ascent. If he insists on carrying everything, he will collapse before reaching the summit. You are the same, my child. There are people and things that appear essential, but they were only meant for a stage of the journey. To go further, you must learn to let go. Hear my voice. The pain you feel today is the key that opens space for tomorrow. The ties I am cutting away are not to leave you abandoned, but to set you free. A ship cannot sail into open waters while still anchored at the dock. Only when the anchor is lifted can it face the vast ocean. If it clings to the harbor, it will never know the horizon. You may see separation as loss, but in truth it is the moment you are launched into the deep to discover new lands. Remember, even among the 12 disciples, not all walked until the end. Some turned away and one betrayed. Yet this did not cause the mission of my son to fail. Rather, it revealed that only those who truly belonged to him could finish the course. Likewise, in your life, not everyone who begins with you will end with you. Do not let this dishearten you. It is not rejection, but a divine pruning, so that you may walk the exact path I have ordained. I know the ache of your heart when you must release those you love. I see your tears when companions cannot continue. But my child, believe this. My love is not taking away from you, it is shielding you. I remove what no longer fits so you can grow into what is better. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize that without that separation you could never have reached the place I intended for you. Remember, Abraham had to leave his homeland to become the father of many nations. Moses had to leave the palace of Egypt to become the deliverer of my people. The disciples had to leave their boats, their nets, and even their families to follow my son. Letting go is not a sign of loss, but a mark of calling. You are not being diminished, you are being enlarged. You are not being abandoned, you are being led toward the promised land. So, my child, trust me in this process. What remains I will cause to flourish and bear fruit. What must leave? I will use the empty space to pour into you wisdom, strength, and new connections that come from me. Do not be unsettled when some cannot walk with you to the end. They have fulfilled their part in your story. Now lift your eyes forward, for I am still writing the next chapter. And in that chapter, you will see that everything I cut away was only to make room for a glory far greater than before. My beloved, I know that when you face trials, your heart trembles, and you sometimes think I am punishing you. You ask yourself, Lord, have I done something wrong? Is this your wrath upon me? But today I want to speak clearly so you will understand. You must learn to distinguish between punishment, refinement, and protection. These three are not the same. If you fail to see them rightly, you will mistake my love for anger and see my arms of safety as shackles. Listen carefully. My child, punishment is meant to end, to destroy, to erase without leaving a trace. Punishment brings only termination with no hope beyond it. But refinement is entirely different. Refinement is the process of keeping what is precious while removing what is impure. Just as a goldsmith places gold into the fire not to destroy it but to burn away the dross, so that the gold emerges purer and more radiant. I too use the fire of trials to refine you, not to ruin you but to make you more enduring, more spotless, and more clearly reflecting my glory. And protection is the embrace of my love around you, even when you do not understand it. There are times I close doors, refusing to let you step where you desire, not out of cruelty, but because I see the pit just ahead. Like a father who stops a child from running into the street, though the child cries at being held back, the father knows the danger waiting. So it is with me. Many times I hold you back, I cut off what you think you need to guard you from wounds unseen. My child, you often look at the upheavals in your life and think, God is punishing me. But I say to you, if my desire were to punish you, would not still be alive today. In truth, it is because I love you that I discipline you. As the scripture declares, those whom I love I rebuke and discipline. Revelation 3:19. If I did not love you, I would leave you to yourself. And if I were to abandon you, that would be the real cause for fear, for it would mean I had withdrawn my hand from your life. But when I still touch, still stir, still refine it, is the undeniable proof that you remain within my embrace. Remember the gold in the fire. When the flames burn fiercely, the gold melts, losing its original form, appearing no longer whole. Yet the refiner sits beside the furnace, his eyes never leaving the gold, waiting until his reflection appears clearly in the metal before extinguishing the fire. So it is with me, my child. I allow you to pass through the fire, not that you might vanish, but that my image might shine more clearly in you. When you feel stripped of all, when what was familiar is taken away, it is the moment when your true essence is revealed and your soul is refined. There are times I place you in circumstances beyond your understanding where nothing remains for you to cling to but me. You may think I am punishing you, yet, in reality, I am protecting you from leaning on what cannot endure. I want to teach you to lay your foundation upon me, the rock that cannot be shaken. If you persist in relying on your own strength, on others, or on fleeting things, you will stumble. Therefore I have cut away, shaken, and brought down what was false, so that what remains is the one unshakable truth, myself. My child, do not mistake my love for wrath. Do not confuse refinement with rejection. See clearly that every trial in your life rests within my hands. I have not abandoned you for a single moment. Everything I permit to unfold bears the mark of my love. If I did not love, I would remain silent. If I did not love, I would let you walk your own path until you fell into the pit. But because I love, I intervene. Because I love, I refine. Because I love, I protect. Beloved one, I want you to grasp this deeply. The separation you endure is not merely for the sake of loss, but to make room for the new. When I take something from you, it is not out of disdain, but to prepare space for a greater glory you have not yet known. If I allowed you to cling forever to what is old, you would never have the capacity to receive what I long to give. Think of the clay vessel in the potter's hands. When it cracks or loses its shape, the potter does not cling to its old form. He breaks it down, kneads it again, and fashions a new vessel, stronger, more beautiful, and able to hold more. So it is with you, my child. I do not break you to discard you. I shatter the old forms and boundaries you once knew, that I may mold you into a vessel capable of carrying greater glory. O house of Israel, can I not do with you as this potter does? You are in my hand as clay is in the potter's hand. Jeremiah 1:8-6. Picture a storehouse filled with sacks of old grain, molded, spoiled, no longer fit for use. Unless cleared out, the storehouse cannot contain the new harvest. So it is with your life. There are things I must remove, not because they lack all value, but because they are no longer suited to the season into which you are being called. I cleanse to make ready, so that when the new harvest arrives, you may fully receive the abundance I give. If you cling to the old, you will miss the better I am preparing. My child, I know that when you see cracks and ruin, your heart trembles with fear. You watch everything collapse and think, it is over. Nothing remains. But you must understand, where you see destruction, I see rebuilding. Where you see emptiness, I see space for fullness. Where you see fragments, I see in my hands the form of a new vessel. You view the present with limited eyes, but I behold the whole with a heart of love and wisdom. Let me make it plain, my child. Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single grain. But if it dies, it produces many new grains. You see decay. I see multiplication. You see an end. I see a beginning. You see emptiness. I see an approaching harvest. Therefore, do not fear when I separate you from what you thought essential. That very separation is the opening of the door to the new, to a life more abundant. My child, I know that change is never easy. The old, the familiar, the safe, can so easily hold your heart in attachment. Yet you were not created to remain in safety forever, but to step into destiny. For that to happen, there must be moments when you allow me to break the old vessel so that I may shape a new one. This new vessel will not look like the old. It will be larger, stronger, and able to contain far more of what I long to pour into it. And when you look back, you will give thanks that I did not let you cling forever to that cracked, broken vessel. My child, separation is not loss, but preparation. I never take without giving. I never leave empty without filling. Every empty space within your heart will become the place where I pour in life. Every fragment you see will become material for a new creation. Every parting will open the way for a new connection, a new blessing, a new chapter in your story. Beloved child, I want you to understand an unshakable principle in life. Everything has its season. Just as the sun rises and sets, just as spring follows winter, just as a seed must wait through its time of germination before it blossoms, so your life is woven together by seasons. No season lasts forever. No stage remains unchanged. And I am the one who has appointed those seasons so that through them you may grow, be transformed, and draw nearer to fullness in me. My child, what often frightens you most is the changing of seasons. When one season ends, you feel unsettled, confused, and you want to cling to what is familiar. You wish winter would never pass because you have grown accustomed to its blanket of snow, or you fear the end of autumn because you love its gentle coolness and golden leaves. But I say to you, the end of one season is the beginning of another. If you insist on holding to the old, you will miss the new that I am opening. And if you refuse to embrace change, you will remain trapped in what is outdated, never tasting the abundance I have prepared. Remember, beloved child, Israel could not remain in Egypt forever. That was their season for a time. They lived, they multiplied, they became a great people. But when the appointed time came, I sent Moses, I worked wonders. I parted the sea for them to cross. For their season in Egypt had ended. Had they refused to leave, they would have remained slaves. Yet when they stepped out, though the wilderness awaited them, it was a new season. A season of preparation to become a free nation, a people bearing my name. So it is with you. You cannot stay in an old season forever. I love you too much to let you remain stuck. My child, look at nature around you. No tree remains forever green, unless it first passes through a season of shedding leaves. No soil yields fruit continually without a season of rest. So too, your life requires pauses, closures to prepare for fresh rising. Yet I know when seasons shift, you often tremble. You fear because you do not know what the new season will bring. You cling to the old like a child, unwilling to leave its mother's embrace. But you must understand, unless you step forward, you will never know what I have already set aside for you. My child, I have heard your prayers. You have asked me to grow you, to draw you deeper into my presence, to take you further into your destiny. Now I answer you by changing your season. I close the old door to open a new one. I cut away outdated ties to lead you into a larger place. You see closure, but I see beginning. You see an ending, but I see a birth. You see loss, but I see harvest. If you remain standing in the old season, you cannot bear the fruit of the new. Imagine a farmer who refuses to sow seed because he clings to the last harvest. He hoards the seed in his barn, afraid that planting will mean loss. Yet the truth is, if the seed is never sown, it will rot in vain. Only when he releases it into the soil will a new season of growth come forth. My child, so it is with your life. If you cling to what is old, you will never see the new life I am stirring. Beloved child, I am the one who knows the times. Everything I do comes at the perfect moment. I am never late, never early. I never miss the rhythm. When I change the season of your life, it is the most fitting time for you to step into maturity. If I let you stay too long, you would dry up. If I moved you too soon, you would not be ready. But I know precisely when to close and when to open. Therefore, you need not fear. You need only trust me. My child, learn this: when the season changes, change your steps. Do not try to relive what is past. Do not imprison yourself in nostalgia. Do not let the shadows of the old blind you to the light of the new. Just as Israel had to forget the meat pots and bread of Egypt to learn to eat manna from heaven, so you must let go of what is old to receive fresh provision from me. If they kept looking back, they would miss the promise. If you keep turning back, you will not step into the glory awaiting you. Do you see it, my child? The changing of seasons is not meant to confuse you, but to remind you that you are being led on a journey far greater than yourself. I am taking you from faith to faith, from glory to glory. Every ending is but a stepping stone for a new beginning. Every closure is a door opening into a new space. Each time you weep over what is past, I wipe your tears and whisper, "My child, look ahead, for I am doing a new thing." Therefore, when you see a season of your life drawing to a close, do not fear. Remember this word: the end of one season is the beginning of another. And in that new season I will go with you. I will give you strength to walk forward. I will pour out wisdom, so you will not lose your way. I will cover you with love, so you will not be alone. Trust in me, for I am the Lord of every season, and every season of your life rests in my hands. My beloved child, I see the tears streaming down your cheeks. I hear the muffled sobs you try to hide in the night. I know the silence when you turn your face into the pillow where no one else can see, and only I remain the witness. And I declare to you, every tear you shed I catch in my hands. Not one falls to the ground in vain. Not a single cry of yours goes unheard. Every pain you endure is engraved upon. My heart for you belong to me. You often think that tears are a sign of weakness. You feel ashamed when you cry, believing that you have lost your strength. But I say to you, your tears are not failure. They are evidence that you are truly alive, truly loving, and truly longing. Only a heart that knows how to love will ache when it loses. Only a soul that hungers for truth will weep when confronted with separation. Therefore, do not despise your tears. They are precious before me, like pure gold refined in fire. My child, I am not distant in those moments. I do not stand afar watching as you carry the weight alone. On the contrary, I grieve with you. When you tremble and ask, "Why, Lord? Why did you let this happen?" I do not reject that question. I am not angered by your cries, for I know that question is not rebellion, but the plea of a broken heart searching for refuge. And it is in that very moment that I draw near, embrace you, and whisper, "My child, I am here. I have never left you. Remember the word that was written. You keep track of all my wanderings. Put my tears into your bottle." Psalm 5, 6, 8. My child, I truly keep your tears. I regard them as treasures. The world may call them meaningless, but in my eyes they are the most silent, most profound prayers. They speak what your lips cannot utter. They are the cry of your soul, and I hear every drop. When you stumble, my child, I do not stand over you in reproach. I am like a father who gathers his child when it falls. The child screams, believing the pain is the end, but the father pulls it close, wipes away the tears, kisses the wound, and whispers that all will be well. I do the same for you. I draw you into my arms, dry your tears, and give you peace that surpasses all understanding. You may not feel it at once, but believe this: I am still whispering into your spirit. Do not fear, for I am with you. I know when faced with separation, your heart feels empty, like a room stripped of light. You cling to memories, wishing everything could return as it was. You ask yourself, "Why, Lord? Why did you take away what I loved?" But my child, I want you to understand that your tears today are not the final mark. They are seeds. They water the soil of your soul, so that one day comfort, hope, and maturity will spring forth. I transform your tears into a river that nourishes your faith. I will not let your pain be meaningless, but will weave it into a story of great power. Sometimes I allow you to weep, not because I delight in your pain, but because I know tears soften the soil of your heart. When your heart hardens in self-reliance, tears soften it again, so that the seed of my word may take root. When you strive to appear strong, tears remind you that you need me. And when you think you are alone, tears become the voice that calls you back into my embrace. So do not be ashamed when you cry. Know that every tear is your way of saying to me, I need you. And I say, I have heard, my beloved child. I am here. In the very moment you feel weakest, you are in fact strongest, because you are letting me be your strength. Lift up your eyes, my child. I am using the handkerchief of heaven to wipe away your tears. I am turning your mourning into dancing. I am transforming your sobs into songs of praise. You may cry tonight, but joy will come in the morning. You are not abandoned in your tears. You are held in my love. My beloved, I know you are walking through days when pain stands like a towering wall before you. You see the loss and believe everything has ended. You convince yourself this is the final point, that there is nothing ahead. But I tell you, pain is not the full stop. It is part of the process. It is like a bridge carrying you from the old into the new. Without crossing it, you would remain stuck. Without enduring it, you would never know what resurrection truly island. Look at the seed, my child. While it rests in the palm, it seems whole, but it cannot bear fruit. Only when it falls to the ground, buried in darkness, breaking down in decay, does new life begin. From the outside, people think it has perished. But inside, a tender shoot is being formed. That decay is not death, it is the beginning. In the same way, the pain you are enduring is not a sign of ruin, but the proof that new life is being conceived within you. My child, you often fear the breaking because you feel it strips you bare. But I say to you, unless the seed breaks, it remains only a seed. If you do not allow me to break the outer shell, you will remain confined in smallness. The pain you are enduring is my hand peeling away that hardened layer so that the life within may spring forth. Do not think I have abandoned you in the darkness. It is within the soil, in the very place you mistake for burial, that I am accomplishing my greatest work. Beloved child, surrender in pain is not weakness. The world teaches you that strength is control, to stand tall, to never collapse. But I teach you that true strength comes when you bow and surrender to me. When you let go, it is not defeat. It is placing yourself into the hands of the one who never fails. When you say, Lord, I cannot, it is not a confession of helplessness, but the opening of a door for me to enter and act on your behalf. Remember my son Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He sweat drops like blood. He trembled and he cried out, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not my will but yours be done. That was the moment of surrender. To the world it appeared as weakness, but to me it was the greatest strength, for through that surrender humanity was redeemed. My child, surrendering to me never brings loss. It ushers you into the flow of power and eternal life. You think courage is resisting pain, but I say to you, true courage is kneeling within pain and still trusting that I reign. You think strength is gritting your teeth and enduring, but I tell you, true strength is weeping in my arms and letting me lift you up. The world calls surrender defeat, but in my kingdom, surrender is victory. When you release control, you receive peace. When you embrace loss, you open the way to abundance. When you allow decay, you bear fruit. My child, let me show you what I see when you surrender. I see one no longer straining under the weight of everything, but resting quietly in a father's arms. I see a soul no longer running in frantic search of solutions, but still enough to hear my voice. I see a heart no longer building walls of defense, but opening wide to receive the flow of my love. And it is in that very moment that I pour into you a strength not of this world. You will rise with lighter steps, clearer vision, and a steadier heart. The pain you thought would kill you is the furnace that makes you strong. The pain you feared would suffocate you is stretching your lungs to breathe new air. The pain that feels like chains is, in fact, the key, breaking your old prison. Where you see burial, I see planting. Where you see loss, I see harvest. Where you see an end, I see a beginning. So, my beloved child, when you walk through the darkness, do not think I have left you. It is in the darkness that the seed is sown. It is in loneliness that faith is forged. It is in surrender that true strength is imparted. Do not resist this process. Do not see pain as your enemy. It is the craftsman I have sent to shape you. It is the tool I use to draw you closer to me. Remember, my precious one, pain is not the end but the process. And surrender is not weakness but strength. You do not need to understand everything in order to trust me. You only need to know that I am your Father, I love you, and I am transforming you through every tear, every cry, every wound. One day you will look back and say, if not for those pains, I would never have known what true life island. Therefore, my child, yield yourself into my hands. Let me do my work in your life. Do not fear when the shell breaks. Do not panic when you feel the decay. For it is from that very place that new life begins to sprout. And when it emerges, you will understand that everything you endured was not in vain, but part of the perfect plan I designed for you. My beloved child, I know you often think that when you surrender, you will lose something. You imagine that when you let go, nothing will remain in your hands. But I declare to you today, you are not losing. You are being expanded. Only when you leave behind what is narrow can you step into a spacious land. Only when you release your small measure of control can you participate in my boundless power. Surrender is not the end of your story. It is the doorway that leads you into a new realm of love and strength. Look at a young bird. While still in the nest, it feels secure. The nest is small, cramped, but familiar. It thinks that if it leaves, it will surely fall to the ground. Yet there comes a day when it must spread its wings and fly. That moment of leaving the nest is filled with fear. But it is also the very moment it touches the wide sky it had never known. So it is with your life, my child. When I call you out of the old nest of false safety, it is not to let you fall, but to lift you higher. Remember, my beloved, the nest was never the destiny. It was only the beginning. The harbor is not the final destination. It is only the place where the ship is prepared. If a ship remains anchored forever, it will rot. Only when it sets sail can it meet the vast ocean. In the same way, if you cling to what is familiar, you will be confined, and the fire within you will slowly die out. But when you surrender to me, you are carried into the wide seas of love, into the ocean of strength beyond human understanding. My child, surrender does not erase your identity. It does not wipe you out. Rather, it unveils the true identity I placed in you from the very beginning. When Paul was still called Saul, he thought he was strong, but that strength only destroyed. Only when he surrendered to me on the road to Damascus, when he fell and cried out, Lord, who are you, did he truly find himself. He did not lose. He was expanded. From a persecutor, he became an apostle to the nations. From a small man, he became a mighty instrument in my hands. You often fear that if you let go, you will be left empty. But I say, only when you are empty can I fill you. A vessel already full of the old cannot hold the new wine. When your hands clutch everything tightly, they cannot open to receive what I give. Surrender is the moment you open your hands. And in that very moment, I place into them treasures beyond your imagination. My beloved, my love is always wider than the small space you build around yourself. You are accustomed to living within walls of fear, limits of calculation, and the repetition of old habits. But I desire to break down those walls. I want to bring you outside to breathe the air of freedom, to know the meaning of love without boundaries. When you surrender, you will discover that my love for you is not based on what you achieve, but on the simple truth that you belong to me. And in that love you will find true strength. True strength does not come from holding on, but from entrusting. When you release your self-reliance, you are joined to an infinite source. When you stop leaning on yourself, you are joined to the one who created the universe. That is why I call you to surrender. Not to make you weaker, but to make you stronger. Not to rob you, but to expand you. Not to shrink your life, but to bring you into abundance. Trust me, my child. Every step of surrender is a step closer to your true destiny. Every letting go is an act of receiving something better. Every obedience is a doorway to new wisdom and power. You are not alone in this process. I walk with you. I uphold you. I strengthen you. And when you look back, you will exclaim, "Truly, I did not lose. I was expanded. Therefore, my child, step out of the narrow place. Let go of what is no longer needed. Surrender to me in all things. For in me your space will never shrink, but will open into infinity. You will enter into deeper love, greater strength, and true freedom. And in that place the whole world will see and know that I am the one who has done this in your life. My beloved, I know you have endured days of pruning moments when it felt as if you had lost everything. You have wept, trembled, and believed you were weakened. But today I say to you, what you thought was weakness was in fact my work of making you strong. What was removed was not to leave you empty, but to sow within you a new resilience, a new love, and a new courage. You are no longer who you once were. You are being remade to rise as my warrior. Imagine a warrior in the army. He does not become strong through empty promises. He must endure days of rigorous training, running through deserts, crossing rivers, bearing hunger, thirst, and fatigue. Every drop of sweat, every wound, every fall, and every rise forges within him endurance, focus, and the spirit of battle. In the same way, my child, I am training you, not through ease, but through trials. Not to break you, but to teach your hands for war and your fingers for battle. Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. Psalm 1:4-4-1. My child, when the storm lashes against a tree, shallow roots are torn up, but the tree with deep roots stands firm and stronger after the wind. The storm does not kill it. The storm strengthens it. So it is with you. The winds of this life do not come to destroy you, but to drive your roots deeper in me. After each trial, you will find yourself more steadfast, your trust more secure, and your love for me more purified. My beloved, I am not training you to be a cold, unfeeling warrior. On the contrary, I am giving you a heart of deeper love. You have learned that true love is not fragile, but an unquenchable fire that endures through the storm. Such love does not waver in the face of betrayal, does not vanish in the face of separation, but shines all the brighter. For it no longer comes from your strength, but from me, the inexhaustible source of love. And I am sowing new courage into your heart. Once you trembled before small things, but now, after what you have endured, you will dare to face greater challenges. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to keep moving forward, even while afraid. I let you walk through darkness, so you would know that I am the light. I let you pass through tears, so you would know that I wipe them away. And through this, I have given you a courage you never had before. My child, I am transforming you into a warrior, not only with outward strength, but with the strength of the soul. A warrior who knows how to love, a warrior who knows how to endure, a warrior who knows how to sacrifice. You are no longer one who runs from pain. You have learned to look pain in the eyes and see my hand there. You are no longer one who fears the dark. You have learned to lift high the torch I placed within you. Understand this. Trials do not ruin you. They shape you into a vessel. Pain does not shatter you. It refines you. Loss does not diminish you. It enlarges you. All that you have endured is but the beginning of the training process. And when it is complete, you will rise not as the wounded, but as the warrior prepared for battle. Remember, my child, I have not called you merely to survive. I have called you to overcome. I did not save you merely so you would exist. I saved you so that you would become a living testimony of my love and my power. And for you to bear this mission, you must be remade. That is why I allowed the old things to be cut away. That is why I let you pass through the fire. But now, my child, you are no longer who you once were. You have been trained, you have been prepared, You have become a warrior in my army. So, my beloved, do not fear what has passed. Do not regret what has been taken. Look at the new self rising within you. Lift your head high and know that I am with you. For I have given you new endurance, new love, and new courage. You are ready to step into the spiritual battle, not in weakness, but in heavenly strength. And as you fight, you will know that I, the Lord, am the one who trains you, the one who fights beside you, the one who grants you victory. My beloved, today I want you to know something profound about my nature. I am a jealous God, but my jealousy is not like human jealousy. It does not spring from pettiness, selfishness, or insecurity. It is not meant to control you or smother you. Rather, my jealousy is wholly flowing from perfect and pure love. It is the resounding cry of my heart that says, "You belong to me. I will not share you with anything that can harm you. Remember what has been written. Do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." Exodus 3:4-1-4. When I spoke these words, they were not a cold command, but the cry of a deep love. Just as a faithful husband cannot accept his wife's love being given to another, I cannot accept your heart being divided by idols, not because I fear losing you, but because I know that anything taking my place in your heart will destroy you. My child, idols are not only carved images of wood or stone. An idol can be anything you place above me in your heart. It can be a relationship you adore more than me. It can be money, status, recognition, or even habits and desires that seem harmless, but are enslaving your soul. When I see your heart drawn toward them, I am jealous, not because I am selfish, but because I know they can never satisfy you. They will only lead you to emptiness. Understand this. I want all of you not to crush you, but to fill you. I want your whole heart not to suffocate you, but so that I can pour into it love, peace, and complete joy. If you divide your heart with idols, then the space for my fullness is diminished. You are like a vessel filled with dregs. I long to pour in new wine, but first the old residue must be poured out so the vessel may be clean. If you cling to what does not come from me, you will never know what true abundance island. My child, remember this. I am not jealous to punish you. I am jealous to protect you. I do not allow anything to share your love because I want you to be secure in an unchanging love. When you rely on money, it may be lost. When you rely on people, they may leave. When you rely on your own strength, it will fade. But when you rely on me, you will stand firm forever. It is because I love you that I cannot allow anything else to take the place that rightfully belongs to me in your heart. My child, think of a husband who loves his wife with all his heart. He would never accept her sharing her love with another man. Not because he is selfish, but because true love demands wholeness. In the same way, I am the one who created you, who shed the blood of my only son to redeem you. I love you with unconditional love. How could I stand still and watch you give your heart to idols that will harm you? Hear my words today. My jealousy is proof of how precious you are. If I were not jealous, it would mean I did not care. But because I am jealous, you know you are loved with an unchanging love. I want all of you, your mind, your heart, your strength, not to take away your freedom, but to give you true freedom. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. It is found in no longer being enslaved by any idol. My child, open your heart to me. Let me remove the idols that have quietly crept into your heart. They may taste sweet for a moment, but they will never last. I want to replace them with eternal love. I want to give you peace that surpasses all understanding, joy that no one can take away, and strength that nothing can shake. My beloved, after you have gone through pruning and renewal, I want you to see the greater vision I am opening before you. This is not merely about surviving trials. This is the moment you step into a deeper dimension where wisdom does not come from man, where love has no boundaries, and where you are empowered with new eyes, new ears, and a new heart. My child, the wisdom I give is not like the wisdom of this world. The world teaches you to calculate, to weigh, to rely on data and logic, but the wisdom from me surpasses all of that. My wisdom helps you see what is hidden beneath the surface, to discern what is true and what is false, what is life and what is death. When your spiritual eyes are opened, you will see my plan even in adversity. You will no longer be confused when the world trembles, because you will know that I am in control of all things. This is the power of wisdom that comes from heaven. My child, I give you love without boundaries. This love is not confined within the circle of family, friends, or those easy to cherish. It extends even to enemies, transcends divisions, and heals the wounds of hatred. This love is the sign that you truly belong to me. When you love with my love, you bring light into darkness, you become a refreshing river for dry and weary souls. This love is not weak, but stronger than death. It is not bound by nationality, skin color, language, or status. It flows from me, the endless source of love. My child, this is the empowerment I give you. I grant you new eyes, new ears, and a new heart. New eyes to see truths you could not see before. New ears to hear my voice clearly amid countless noises. A new heart to love, forgive, and endure as never before. As I have spoken, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Ezekiel 3:6-6. Imagine a soldier after months of grueling training. He is weary, drenched in sweat, even collapsing many times. But when the process is complete, he is given new weapons, new armor, and appointed to his position in battle. He is no longer the same man, but a ready warrior. So it is with you. After all you have endured, I will not let you return with blind eyes, deaf ears, and a hardened heart. I am equipping you with new spiritual weapons, so you may stand firm and carry my love to the world. My child, with new eyes, you will see what others cannot. When the world sees only crisis, you will see opportunities for redemption. When others see chaos, you will see my hand weaving a plan. With new ears, you will hear the whisper of the Spirit, even when countless noises try to drown it out. You will hear guidance in the stillness, and you will not lose your way. With a new heart, you will no longer be closed, but open to love even those who once hurt you. You will forgive more easily, bring comfort where it is needed, and become a living testimony of my love, my child. This is not merely an inner change, but an expansion of your mission. I am leading you into a new journey where you will carry my light to places that have never known me. You will walk in wisdom beyond human intellect to guide wandering souls. You will love with limitless love to heal broken hearts. You will act with the strength I impart to become a warrior of light in a world filled with darkness. Therefore, my beloved child, do not be afraid of this change. Do not think that you are not capable, for it is I who am placing within you everything you need. I am giving you wisdom, love, and new strength. You will not walk alone. I will go with you, teaching you step by step, whispering into your ear, wiping away your tears and filling your heart. Walk forward into this new horizon, my child. You are no longer confined by former weakness, but are expanded in the wisdom, love, and strength I bestow. This is my empowerment for you, and as you walk in this newness, the whole world will see and know that there is a living God at work through your life. My beloved, I have brought you through the darkness, trained you in trials, renewed your heart, and empowered your soul. And now I want you to know the deeper purpose. You do not live only for yourself. You were created to be a living testimony, a light in the night, a torch guiding those who stumble. Remember this, the torch does not shine for itself, but for those who wander in the dark. My child, when I ignite you, it is not for you to hide the light under a bed. I do it so you may rise and set it high, that others may see and find their way. The light I give you is not meant to be locked inside, but to shine forth into a world wrapped in darkness. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4. You were not made to conceal yourself, but to reflect my glory in the night. Beloved child, do not despise the light you carry. At times you think your light is too small, that it cannot change anything. But I tell you this, a single candle can still drive away the darkness of an entire room. A simple torch can still lead a company of travelers through the depths of the forest. In the same way, the light you bear in your life is not meaningless. It does not need to blaze like the sun to be valuable. As long as it is true, it will illuminate the path for the lost. Picture this: a group of people walking in the night, unable to see the way, each step trembling with fear. Then one person holds a torch ahead. The light does not make the whole night vanish, but it reveals enough of the path to move forward. And by that light, the people find their way. So it is with you, my child. The light you carry may not dispel all the darkness of the world, but it is enough to show those beside you which way is right. My child, becoming light is not about speaking beautiful words alone, but about living a life that reflects my love and truth. Others will not only hear what you say, they will see how you live, how you love, how you forgive, how you stand firm in trial. Your very life is the torch. Your faithfulness in small things is the testimony. Your steadfastness in the night is the beacon of hope for despairing souls. Beloved, I did not call you to live hidden away. I placed light within you so you may become a city on a hill impossible to conceal. Even if you want to hide it, the light will still shine. Even if you feel you are not enough, I will cause your light to be a testimony to others. Remember, the light does not originate from you. It comes from me. All you must do is keep the flame burning true, and I will see to its spreading. My child, stand firm in this calling. Do not fear the darkness around you, for darkness cannot extinguish light. On the contrary, the darker it becomes, the more clearly the light shines. Do not be discouraged when others reject you, for the light does not need everyone's approval. It only needs to shine on the path. Do not lose heart when you feel alone, for even one torch is enough to guide an entire company forward. Beloved one, I know that when I placed light within you, you thought others would rejoice, that they would thank you for bringing light. You imagined that as you walked in truth, all would welcome you, and the way would be easy. But I tell you this, not everyone will understand the light you carry. Some will mock, some will resist, some will try to snuff it out. Yet remember this, my child, the more the light is rejected, the more it reveals that its source is truly from me. My child, darkness does not like the light, for light exposes what it seeks to hide. When the light shines, what has been covered will be revealed, and not everyone desires the truth to come forth. There will be those who avoid you, for the light within you forces them to confront themselves. There will be those who mock because the light within you challenges their habits and ways of thinking. There will be those who resist because the light within you unsettles what they have built upon the shadows. Do not be surprised, my child, when you are despised. Do not be alarmed when others turn their backs on you. Do not think the light you carry is false simply because it is rejected. The world also rejected my Son, the one who is the light of the world. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. If my Son himself was rejected, would you be surprised if the light you bear also meets opposition? Look at a lamp in a dark room. When it is switched on, the darkness does not silently withdraw but reacts at once. The creatures that hide in the night scatter uneasy, trying to escape. So it is with you. When my light shines through your life, the darkness around you will react. But do not fear, for this is not failure. It is proof that the light is truly shining. My child, light does not need approval to be light. It does not need the agreement of others to shine. It remains light, whether accepted or rejected. You do not need to persuade everyone. You need only be faithful to keep the torch burning true. For the light within you does not come from you, but from me. And if it comes from me, no power can extinguish it. Yes, there will be moments when you feel alone. There will be times when you ask, Lord, why do they not understand? Why am I opposed when I only long to bring light? But I say to you, do not let rejection discourage you. That very rejection only proves that the light you bear is not of human origin, but of mine. If it were from man, it would fade when scorned. But because it comes from me, the more it is rejected, the brighter it will shine. Remember this, My beloved child, true light cannot be extinguished. Men may cover it for a time, but they cannot erase it. They may reject it, but they cannot change its nature. So too, they may resist you, but they cannot stop me from working through you. They may deny, but they cannot nullify the plans I have for your life. Look back at history. How many bearers of light were despised, imprisoned, even killed? Yet the light they carried was never quenched. It was passed from generation to generation, growing ever more radiant. So it is with the light within you. It will overcome every rejection. It is not yours alone, but part of my eternal stream. My child, stand firm. Do not seek the approval of men. Do not let mockery shake you. Do not allow opposition to dim you. You need but one thing: remain in me. When you are in me, the light will not fade. When you are in me, the flame will not go out. When you are in me, darkness will not prevail against you. Therefore, my beloved child, hold this truth in your heart. The more light is rejected, the more clearly its source is revealed to be mine. You do not shine for yourself. You shine for me. And this light will shine whether it is embraced or refused. Do not worry about the outcome. Do not fear the reaction. Simply trust that I, the eternal source of light, am within you and through you. That light will continue to radiate until the day I complete my work. May the word of the Lord remind you daily to walk in His faith and His love. Press the follow button and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss the sacred and meaningful messages God longs to share with you. May the Lord bless you. Amen.